And for more about the dispute and also what is going on between the two sides, let's talk to our reporter Zhu Dan in Hong Kong. Well, Zhu Dan, can you tell us more about the joint statement signed by Hong Kong government and the Philippines?
According to the statement, there were in-depth and constructive exchanges, and the Cabinet Secretary updated the Hong Kong government on progress made in finding a response to the Hong Kong government. After the meeting, some legislators say the joint statement is a good sign showing that the two governments are moving closer on solving the hostage crisis. Well, another information is that Yik Siu Ling, a victim of the crisis, has finally got some money from the Philippine side. Although this was made available through donations from Filipino businessmen, well, it's been 3 years. This is the first time that the victim received some money. I just spoke to the victim Yik Siu Ling on the phone, and she confirmed she's received the money, but she did not disclose how much it was. She says she's grateful to the Philippine side and the Hong Kong government, and also sent a condolence to the Philippines about their losses during the Typhoon Haiyan. Well, speaking of the young woman, surviving the hostage crisis has just been a start of a long and painful battle with treatment, with finances, and with her personal lives. Well, here is her story. The world through a face mask. This is how she views the world now. Yik Siu Ling, the young mother, has never told her son why she wears the mask. She can't bear to have her son see her this way. It is too frightening for the little boy.
He was very young before and didn't know anything. Now, as he has turned 5, he's become aware of the news. He told me, "Mom, I know you went on a tour and were shot by bad people, so you have to go to the hospital."
Life has never been the same for her since the fateful day in August 2010. A sacked policeman took hostages on her tour bus in Manila and shot dead 7 tourists from Hong Kong and their guide. He was then killed in a bungled police rescue. Yik Siu Ling pretended to be dead after she was shot through her jaw. She says it was thoughts of her son that pushed her to hold on to life.
I immediately thought about my son after I was shot, since he was only 2 years old at the time. I kept telling myself that I can't die. If I die, my son will become an orphan. I told myself again and again, don't give up, don't give up, your son needs you.
Now she has no choice but to wear her face mask every day. Saliva and pus leak out of a hole in the right side of her jaw if she doesn't. She's already had around 30 operations to rebuild her jaw. More operations lie ahead. She can't work anymore. Together with another survivor, they shared a one-off donation of 1 million Hong Kong dollars from an insurance company which had sold them travel insurance for the Manila trip. The 36-year-old says she doesn't know how she will pay the 3 million Hong Kong dollars in medical expenses, as needs to go to Chinese Taipei for serious possible operations. Even if the operations are successful, she doesn't know how she and her son will manage in the future. The official investigation report of the Manila government in September 2010 pointed out 8 critical errors in the way the hostage crisis was handled. Crucial among them, Manila Mayor Alfredo Lim failing to properly activate the Crisis Management Committee, a lack of communication, and 2 officials busy eating their meal when they should have been at the command post. The jaw-dropping revelations should have been enough to promote decisive action, but 3 years on, nothing. The Philippine government hasn't apologized, and none of the officials responsible have been punished. Families of victims have campaigned, but the Philippine government hasn't relented. For Yik Siu Ling, though, the battle is more basic. She wants her son to be able to see her, without a mask, without any fear. Just the son looking at his mother, the way any child would. Well, when I interviewed her earlier, she was so concerned about her son, her medical expenses, and her future. Well, now she will be a little bit relieved. At least she can continue serious operations to rebuild her face. We don't know when the pain will be healed, but but at least it's a good start. Zhou Yue.
Well, it's a sad story for Yi, but what more has the Philippine government actually agreed to offer for those victims and their families?
So far, except for some money to Yik Siu Ling, there hasn't been any other offers. After the meeting, a legislator who's been assisting the survivors and the relatives of the 8 people killed said the move of the Philippine side is a positive development, but it won't affect their original 4 requests in the future, including official apology, compensation, responsible officials get punished, and tourist safety strengthened. He said both governments are confident that they would be able to achieve the objectives set out by their own leaders through continuous efforts. We'll be watching if they have more meetings in Hong Kong. So yeah.
And we will keep a close watch on that. Thank you, Zhu Dan, for your reporting from Hong Kong.